my friends. What a story, right? Like, incredible how Sarah's life has transformed over the last little bit. And I want to bring both Sarah and somebody else, Amy, I want to bring her on as well, because both have a membership site where they have a physical component that they're sending out. And so first of all, Sarah, are you there?
I'm here.
Yay! Sarah, good to see you, and thank you for joining us. This is the second time today we've had your honor because...
2 times.
Yeah, you were on earlier today, but I love your story, and I love the fact that, you know, with your membership site, this was something that, like, it's a physical box. There's a lot of logistics that happen with that, and I want to talk about that. But if you can, just in a quick, short summary, we saw the story, but, like, how did the idea come for this type of membership?
It was already items that I was selling in my store. So it was already items that I had. It was already customers that I had. So I had the audience, and I kept seeing this growing need for more and more. And I kept seeing the same customer come in and get more and more. So it was the hot new thing that I had in stock, and they wanted to be the first one there to get it so it wouldn't sell out before, you know, they could get by. So I wanted to create something exclusive just for them.
And by the way, what a visual. Look at all those boxes behind you. Yeah, girl?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So I also want to bring on Amy. Amy, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Listen, great to see you. Thanks for jumping on with us.
No problem, no problem.
Okay, so bring everybody up to speed. What is it that you do in your business? What do you provide?
Yeah, so I am a trainer of sand tray therapy, which is a form of play therapy. I'm a mental health therapist, and so I train people in a certification program where people travel to Arkansas, and then I also have a membership program that I've had about 3 years now.
Wow. Okay, so I'm excited to dig into this with both of you. So first I'm going to throw it over to Sarah. Sarah, there's a lot of logistics that are involved with a physical delivery item, especially for yours, like, because it's monogrammed, so it's like specific to each individual. But what have you learned through this experience of adding a membership site to your physical store? Like, you had a bricks and mortar store, you still do.
I still do.
How has the membership helped complement the physical store?
I mean, it changes everything if you have a brick and mortar retail store, even if you just have an online presence. But if you've got this brick and mortar store, over 300 of my subscribers pick up their box in my store every single month. So these boxes are going to get picked up in my store. You're physically going to walk through my front door to get your box, and you're going to probably shop while you're in here. So it's bringing them to me, because we know in this world of Amazon Prime that it's really hard to get people to walk through your doors. And so I'm getting their money up front because they've already bought the box. Now they're coming to pick it up, and they're spending more in my retail store every month.
I love that, because it's genius. This is exactly, Burger King is following in your footsteps, Sarah, because this is what they did 2 months ago with launching their coffee membership, and it's a really important shift in mindset, is how a physical bricks and mortar stores can use a membership not only to add revenue, because that's definitely done that for you, and we'll talk about that because I know that you've had an incredible year. And so we'll talk about that. But just the sheer fact of getting those people back into your store, it's a really important insight. Amy, for you, like, what do you provide inside of your membership? Can you kind of give us some insight into that?
Well, I realized over the last probably 4 months that it's not just about the stuff in the box for my members. It was about the feeling of getting their box. Like, who doesn't get excited when there's a box that shows up at their front door that says it's a tribe thing? I mean, so that's what I'm giving to them, that experience that they've got something that they've been waiting on. They know it's coming. They don't know when. And here's the other thing about my box is that it's a mystery. Just like this, I don't know what's in this box. They don't know what's in my box. So it's fun, and it creates excitement, and it creates energy, and it creates something for them to look forward to every single month. So you're creating an experience around the physical item.
Amazing. Okay, so Amy, I want to throw it over to you. You help therapists, and so talk to us about, like, what it is that you're providing inside of your membership.
Yeah, so like I said, I've had a membership for about 3 years. Stu, I saw you, I think it was year before last at TNC changed everything. I shut down my membership. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. But yes, so I provide teaching as far as, chunks of different materials. We have a community, we have downloads, all that kind of stuff to help people walk through sand tray therapy and how to do it in a step-by-step fashion, no matter where they are on their sand tray journey.
So I want to stay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to stay here for 1 minute with you, Amy, because one of the things that you said was that you shut down your membership, and some people might be saying, "Well, wait a minute, what? Like, what is she talking about?" Give us some context there. What happened?
Right. So about 2 years, I had an open membership where I was having a $1 what we call tripwire, where people would come in like trial basis, and then they could join from there, and then they could maybe do a year. And what was happening is I would bring about as many members on it as I would lose, I guess, that month. And then also, more important than that, it was not working for us on a customer service because we were losing people. We couldn't decide who was coming in when and where they were coming from. And we really couldn't have that customer journey that we wanted to and really serve our people. So you talked about having a closed versus open membership. And when you talked about that in just that 30-minute thing, I was like, that's it. So I went and told my assistant, I said, let's get on Facebook Live right now. We're announcing we're shutting down enrollment for the next 4 months. And we'll reopen in July, and it's going to be way different. And so, of course, people were rushing to get in before we closed it. And then it allowed us enough time and really revenue to be able to redo all the videos, redo everything, go through Tribe, and not worry about losing out on that revenue, because when we reopened in July, it was crazy how amazing it did.
Well, I want to circle back and talk to you about that, because I know both of you have had big years in terms of the progress that you've made. So one of the things I want to ask for you, Amy, and then I'm going to come back to you, Sarah. So, Amy, like when you made these changes, what was going through your mind? Because I know, I've been doing this for a long time, and I know, like, people hear about the concept of closing a membership, but it feels completely counterintuitive to our natural instincts. I know that most people are like, Stu, what are you talking about? Like, you actually want me to close the doors? You don't want me to let people buy? And I'm saying yes. So what were you thinking and feeling as you, one, heard it, but then, actually implemented it?
Well, I'd been a big fan of PLF for a long time, so I was familiar with that for my big flagship, but not for the $35, $45 membership that I was doing. But it immediately felt really, really good for me and my staff, because then we were off that content treadmill, and we were allowed us time to batch create. And then to really, really focus, like you said before, and I say this all the time, it's really hard to sell and serve.
Yes.
And it allowed us to only sell a few times a year and then serve the rest of the time, which again decreases churn. It increases the longevity of people sticking around, customer satisfaction, and we were able to add the box membership piece, which changed everything.
Okay.
When we added the box membership, numbers went through the roof.
So talk to me about that, because, how did you come to the conclusion that you wanted to add the box component?
So the box, what we deliver is little miniatures, and it's the stuff that people do, what they actually do with therapy. And it's what people get really geeked out about and all that kind of stuff. And I thought, so if I can give them what they want and then deliver what they need, well, then that's really a win-win for everybody. And so, again, when I actually watched Tribe, when you had the bonus material about I think it was a Lego guy, about the box, and I thought, oh, I could do this too. And I got on the phone again with my assistant, and I said, what do you think about this? And she said, oh, my gosh, your people would love it. And so it's in what Sarah was saying is people get really excited. We also include a self-care item, a couple of self-care, because what we know about our avatar is that they don't take care of themselves very well at all. And so I'm here actually at our cabin in the woods because I'm trying to practice what I preach and have time off instead of just go, which the membership allows you to do.
Amazing. Well, buddy, give a sense real quick, and then I want to come over to Sarah and find out from her what's happened with her membership. But what has happened for you in terms of the growth of the membership?
So growth of membership, we have over doubled, which is good, but also our churn rate is down, and actually people stick longer. We're at over a year stick rate now. And actually we have two levels of membership, one for people who get the boxes and one that don't. And what we've been able to see is people who get the boxes stick around longer, they don't churn out as much, that they have higher levels of satisfaction. And so it's just, again, a win-win for all of us.
I love it because, you know what, again, we always typically focus on, new members in. And what you've said is, yes, we have doubled the number of members, but we've also reduced the number of people that are dropping off. So the profitability of the site is much larger with both of those working in your favor. And I hope people caught on this. Because we always hear the average person only stays for 3 to 4 months. That is total BS. Like, Amy, I think, I just want to emphasize, you were saying your average length that somebody's staying is over a year. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Amazing.
And it's higher for people who get the boxes.
Amazing.
So, by far, which we thought it was counterintuitive because we figured the people who paid more would stick around less. No, not at all. Not at all.
Well, Amy, thank you so much for sharing. I want to shift gears over to Sarah. Sarah, buddy, I know that you have had a big year in terms of the growth of your membership. Talk to us about what's happened, in terms of where you were and then where you are 1 year later.
When I started my box, the very first month I had 44 subscribers, my beta launch. And from there, it just grew. And it took about 9 months, and I was just on a straight hike up with growth. And then it just really plateaued for me for a few months. And then after a few months, it started to drop. And I got very, very concerned. And that's when I joined Tribe. And I went through the course material. I was listening. I was showing up for the 10 and 10s. And I still felt a little stuck with it. But then at Tribe Live, I was so inspired by all the people there and all the stories. And you just really telling me face to face that it doesn't matter that I have a product, that everything that I have learned, I need to put into place. I got super excited and I came home and I closed my cart. And that is very scary when you have product, because it's not like a digital membership where it doesn't matter how many people show up or don't. Like, if they show up, you got to have product for them. If they don't show up, you're sitting on a whole lot of boxes. And so that is very scary. And you just have to make a plan. And if the plan changes in the middle of the launch, you've got to figure out how to roll with it. And that's exactly what happened. I was sitting on 60 extra boxes for that month when I came back from Tribe Live. Like, that's how much was extra from what I was going to send out. My goal was really just to capture those 60 sales, just get these boxes out of my inventory and move forward with 60 extra subscribers. And what happened was I took my 200 members and I doubled them to 400 in 5 days. And so that was really scary because I didn't have any product, but I got it figured out. And since then, we're now actually over 1,000 subscribers now to date. And so it's been amazing and it's been wonderful. And on top of, just the success, like you saw in my video how much it's changed my family. I came into Tribe with about $8,000 in reoccurring revenue, and now I'm over $32,000 in reoccurring revenue. And that is life-changing. I'm not someone that comes from a lot of money. I'm not someone that has a lot of money. And $2,000 was very scary for me to invest into Tribe. But I knew that I didn't have a direction of where I was going at that time, and I needed some help. And I sat and watched the entire live cast that you did last year, the entire thing, and I still didn't buy. And I still kept doubting myself. And I waited to buy like the last 2 hours of your Close the Cart. And I thought, if I don't do this, I'm going to regret that. I'm going to regret this decision. So it's better for me to just do this and then figure that out, or I'm going to sit here and regret that I didn't invest in this decision to go all in and really I knew I had something special. I just needed help. And I was on this lone island and I needed some help to figure out the processes. And there's a storm coming in right now. And I think about when I watch that video again tonight, if I hadn't have joined Tribe last year, I would be at home pumping water out of my house right now. And it's incredible. And I'm so grateful. And it has changed my family's, like, it's exciting. And I'm so excited about my business. And I'm so happy for my customers. And it's just, it's so good. Talk to Amy.
Well, Sarah, listen, I want to commend you, buddy, because, you know, one of the things that's admirable about both of you is that you take action on the ideas that you heard. And, you know, a lot of times people hear the ideas. They hear what I'm suggesting, what I'm sharing, what I have experienced and can tell you over and over and over again that works. But both of you have taken action on it. And again, we have heard this time and time again, and I hope people who are listening, who are, you know, perhaps doubting themselves, perhaps on the fence, I hope you're hearing the message here is that the clarity comes from taking action. Sitting still, not doing anything is not going to help you bring that clarity. And Sarah, the thing is that I love about your story is that, girl, you're just getting started. And you know that. Everybody else knows that. And the more you are leaning into who you are serving, the more you're getting comfortable with the reality of where this is going. And that, my friend, is what is tremendously exciting. And thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being honest and transparent and what this means. Because I think, again, it's not about the money. It's about what the money makes possible. So I want to ask you. Go ahead, Sarah.
I just see so many people in the comments. I mean, I've watched this entire live cast again today. I've been on the entire time. I've watched your Facebook Lives over the last week, and I just see so many people just doubting themselves and saying next year, I'll be ready next year. I was not ready, but I knew that I needed something different to make forward progress. And this is the difference. So I think that if you're just sitting there thinking you're not ready, you either got to do it or you got to do something else, because there's nothing else going to propel you forward more than this and the community of that tribe is.
Well, thank you for that, Sarah. Amy, what advice would you give for people who are thinking about starting a membership site and contemplating whether they join a tribe to help them with that?
Yeah, so I would absolutely say recurring revenue is definitely the way to go. And Stu, you do such a good job of laying it all out in a stepwise formation. And so if you follow like what Stu says to do, really it's almost kind of foolproof. One more thing before I get off here, and this maybe other people, where I was last year before I joined Tribe was the goal is I wanted to be able to allow my husband to come out of corporate and then work for us. And so he was able to do that after our last launch in January.
That's amazing.
Huge has to do it because of our monthly recurring revenue. Because we know no matter what happens, we've got this amount of money coming in and we'll be able to pay our bills. And he's been able to focus on our property investment and then also our sand tray business. So I wanted to just, again, it is definitely possible and amazing things can happen in a year. So it's just a no-brainer.
Amy, that's incredible. You know, it's amazing to me because, you know, this has come up a couple times in the comments and just about how many women have, you know, joined Tribe and have tremendous success with it. And not only that, but the number of women who have, quote, retired their husbands, their spouses, from their corporate jobs and brought them home has been, you know, amazing to me to watch, to see what, you know, what's possible. And so I just want to commend both of you, you know, for the progress that you've made, the way that you've poured into your people, the way that you have taken action on these ideas. And it really is admirable and super inspiring. I'm seeing it in the comments. People are just talking about like how inspiring both of you are in terms of what you've done. And so thank you for being that. As we wind up here, Amy, where can people find out more about you?
Yeah, you go to southernsandtray.com, Southern Sand Tray.
Southern Sand Tray. Awesome. Did you have any final comments?
Yeah, I will. I'll put it in the comments for sure.
Oh, no, I was saying, like, do you have any final comments for everybody here tonight?
Oh, final comments. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I think, again, for someone who's bought a ton of programs over the years, Stu, yours and Jeff Walker's have been some of the ones that have changed my whole life in business. And so, again, it's really $2,000 is a whole lot of money. But if $2,000 is going to allow you to bring your husband home and allow you to change your whole life, then it's nothing.
Well, thank you so much for that, Amy. Sarah, over to you. Do you have any final thoughts?
I say if you have your dream and you're thinking about it, there's no better time to do it. You can't not get out of tribe what you put into it. So all you have to do is just listen to Stu. That's all you have to do when you get into tribe, and it's going to come. Now, if you don't watch the 10 and 10s, you don't do the work, of course that's not going to come. You have to do the work, but all you have to do is soak it in and really implement. And I'm not a tech person. I'm not a super business person. I'm a creative person, and it just comes, and it takes time, and you're going to get there, and it's awesome to watch.
Well, Sarah, thank you so much. You're a gem, as is Amy. Sarah, where can people find out more about you?
Social media is the best place. That's where I love to hang out. So you can find me on Facebook as Framed Monogram Gifts, or you can find me on Instagram at Framed by Sarah.
Ladies, thank you so much for joining us here tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Stu.
Thanks,
Bye.
gang.